The Art of Strategic Patience Introduction. There is a force more powerful than aggression, more devastating than attack. It is the ability to wait, to watch, to let time do the work that force never could. Most people are slaves to urgency. They react, they rush, they move before the moment is right, and in doing so they reveal everything, their fears, their desires, their weaknesses. But the masters of power understand something different. They understand that patience is not passive. It is the most aggressive strategy of all. Consider the greatest victories in history. They were not won by those who moved first. They were won by those who moved at the right time, by those who let their enemies exhaust themselves, by those who understood that timing is everything. Napoleon waited at Austerlitz while his enemies overextended. The patient investor waits while others panic sell. The skilled negotiator waits while the desperate party reveals their bottom line. Today we explore the art of strategic patience, how to use time as your greatest weapon, and why those who master the wait always win in the end. Chapter 1. The Tyranny of Urgency. We live in an age of instant gratification. Everything must happen now. Decisions made in seconds, responses expected immediately, action demanded at every turn. This urgency is a trap, a carefully constructed prison that keeps most people reactive, emotional, and ultimately powerless. When you act from urgency, you act from emotion. You make decisions based on pressure rather than wisdom. You reveal your hand before you've seen theirs. You commit resources before understanding the battlefield. The powerful understand this. They create urgency in others while remaining immune to it themselves. They set deadlines for their opponents while operating on their own timeline. They manufacture crisis to force premature action from their enemies. Watch how the truly influential handle pressure. They slow down when others speed up. They pause when others panic. They let the frantic energy of their opponents exhaust itself against the wall of their composure. This is not laziness. This is strategy. Every moment of patience is a moment of observation. Every pause is an opportunity to gather information while others waste their energy in premature action. Think about the last time you made a decision under pressure. How did it turn out? Now think about decisions you made after careful consideration, after letting the situation develop, after gathering all available information. The difference is usually stark. The first rule of strategic patience: never let another person's timeline become your own. Their urgency is their problem. Their deadline is their constraint. You operate on the timeline that serves your interests, not theirs. When someone says, "I need an answer now," what they really mean is, "I want to prevent you from thinking clearly." When someone creates artificial urgency, they are trying to bypass your judgment. Recognize this manipulation and refuse to participate. Chapter 2. The Power of the Pause. Silence is uncomfortable. Most people rush to fill it. They speak when they should listen. They act when they should observe. They commit when they should wait. But in that pause, in that moment of strategic silence, lies tremendous power. When you pause before responding, you accomplish several things at once. You demonstrate that you cannot be rushed. You create space for the other person to reveal more than they intended. You give yourself time to calculate the optimal response. You establish yourself as someone who thinks before acting. The pause is a weapon disguised as nothing. In negotiations, the person who speaks first after a price is named usually loses. They fill the silence with justifications, with concessions, with weakness. The person who can sit in that uncomfortable silence, who can let it stretch until it becomes almost unbearable, holds all the power. In conflicts, the one who reacts first gives away their position. They show what triggers them, what threatens them, what they fear. The one who pauses, who absorbs the attack without immediate response, learns everything while revealing nothing. In relationships, the one who can sit in silence without discomfort demonstrates emotional strength. They show that they do not need constant validation, constant noise, constant reassurance. This is deeply attractive and deeply powerful. Practice the pause. When someone makes a demand, wait. Count to 5 in your head before responding. When someone asks a question, take a breath before answering. Let them see that you are considering, not reacting. When someone tries to provoke you, let the moment stretch. Watch their face as they wait for the reaction that doesn't come. See how they begin to doubt themselves, to wonder if their attack landed, to question their own position. In that silence, you will see them squirm. You will watch them fill the void with concessions, with information, with weakness. And you will respond only when the moment serves you, only when you have gathered everything you need. Chapter 3. Letting enemies destroy themselves. Here is a truth that the impatient never learn. Given enough time, most problems solve themselves. Most enemies defeat themselves. Most obstacles crumble under their own weight. The aggressive person attacks their enemies directly. They expend energy, create risk, and often strengthen their opponent's resolve. They turn potential allies into enemies and minor conflicts into wars. They create martyrs and unite opposition. The patient strategist does something far more elegant. They wait. They watch as their enemy makes mistake after mistake. They observe as overconfidence leads to exposure. They note every weakness, every vulnerability, every crack in the armor, and they do nothing. Because action would interrupt the process. Intervention would stop the self-destruction already in motion. The enemy is doing your work for you. Why would you interfere? This requires tremendous discipline. Every instinct screams to act, to strike, to respond. Society tells us that strength means action, that power means aggression, that winning means fighting. But the master of patience understands that the greatest victories require no battle at all. History is filled with examples. Empires that collapsed from internal corruption while their enemies simply waited. Leaders who destroyed themselves through arrogance while their rivals watched. Companies that imploded from mismanagement while competitors patiently built their strength. Let your enemies exhaust themselves. Let them overextend. Let them make the moves that will be their undoing. Your job is simply to be there when they fall, ready to collect what remains. And when others ask how you defeated such a powerful enemy, you can smile and say nothing. Because the truth is, you didn't defeat them. They defeated themselves. You simply had the patience to wait. Chapter 4. The Long Game. Most people think in days. Some think in weeks. A rare few think in months. The masters of power think in years, in decades, in generations. This is the long game, the ability to sacrifice short-term gains for long-term dominance. To plant seeds today that will bear fruit long after others have forgotten they were planted. To make moves whose purpose won't be clear for years. The long game requires a fundamental shift in perspective. You must stop asking, what can I gain today? And start asking, where do I want to be in 10 years? And what must I do now to get there? This changes everything. Suddenly, small setbacks become irrelevant. A loss today means nothing if it positions you for victory tomorrow. Temporary defeats become acceptable, even desirable, if they serve the larger strategy. The opinions of others become meaningless noise because they cannot see what you are building. The person playing the long game will always defeat the person playing the short game, always. Because while the short-term player is celebrating small victories, the long-term player is building an empire. While the short-term player is reacting to every fluctuation, the long-term player is following a plan that accounts for every possibility. Think of every interaction as a move in a game that will last your entire life. Some moves are about winning today, but the most powerful moves are about positioning for victories that won't come for years. Build relationships that may not pay off for a decade. Develop skills that have no immediate application. Make investments that won't mature for years. Plant seeds everywhere, knowing that most will never grow, but the ones that do will change everything. This is how dynasties are built. This is how lasting power is created, not through quick wins and immediate gratification, but through patient, persistent, long-term thinking. Chapter 5. Strategic Inaction. There is a difference between doing nothing and strategic inaction. The first is passive. The second is a choice. The first comes from weakness. The second comes from strength. Strategic inaction means consciously deciding not to act when action is expected. It means holding your position when others expect you to move. It means keeping your resources in reserve when others expect you to deploy them. This creates uncertainty in your opponents. They cannot predict you because you are not following the expected pattern. They cannot prepare for your move because you haven't made one. They cannot counter your strategy because your strategy is invisible. Meanwhile, you are watching, learning, waiting for the perfect moment. Strategic inaction also preserves your resources. Every action costs something: energy, capital, reputation, relationships. The person who acts constantly depletes themselves. They burn through resources, exhaust their allies, and wear down their own strength. The person who acts strategically conserves their power for when it matters most. They enter every engagement fresh, fully resourced at maximum strength. While their opponents are exhausted from constant activity, they are rested and ready. Ask yourself before every potential action, what do I gain by acting now? What do I gain by waiting? What information might I gather if I hold my position? What might my opponent reveal if I don't respond? Often you will find that waiting costs nothing while acting costs everything. The opportunity will still be there tomorrow. The conflict will still exist next week. But your resources, once spent, are gone. Chapter 6. Reading the Rhythm. Every situation has a rhythm. Every conflict has a tempo. Every opportunity has a timing. The master of patience learns to read these rhythms. They sense when the moment is approaching. They feel when the tide is about to turn. They know, almost instinctively, when to strike and when to hold. This cannot be taught through rules. It must be developed through observation, through experience, through countless hours of watching how situations unfold, how people behave, how systems operate. Pay attention to patterns. Notice how people behave when they are about to make a decision. Their body language changes. Their communication patterns shift. Their behavior becomes predictable in its unpredictability. Observe how markets move before major shifts. There are always signs, subtle changes in volume, in sentiment, in the behavior of key players. Those who can read these signs move before the crowd. Those who cannot are always surprised. Study how conflicts escalate and how they resolve. There are patterns here too. Points of no return, moments when intervention is possible and moments when it is too late. Windows of opportunity that open briefly and then close forever. Over time, you will develop a sense for timing that others lack. You will see opportunities before they become obvious. You will sense danger before it materializes. You will know when to move and when to wait. This is the highest form of strategic patience, not just the ability to wait, but the wisdom to know exactly how long to wait. Not just the discipline to hold your position, but the insight to know the precise moment to move. Chapter 7. The Patience of Predators. Watch how a predator hunts. Not the desperate predator, starving and reckless, but the apex predator, confident and controlled. It does not chase, it positions. It does not attack randomly. It waits for the perfect moment. It conserves energy while its prey exhausts itself. And when it finally moves, the outcome is never in doubt. The lion does not run after every gazelle. It watches, it waits, it selects the weak, the isolated, the vulnerable. And then only then does it commit its energy to the hunt. This is the patience you must cultivate, not the patience of the passive, but the patience of the predator. Alert, aware, ready, but never rushing, never desperate, never acting from need. The predator's patience comes from confidence. It knows that the opportunity will come. It knows that its skills are sufficient. It knows that time is on its side. It does not need this particular prey, this particular moment, this particular opportunity. Cultivate this confidence. Know that if you are patient enough, skilled enough, and positioned correctly, the opportunity will present itself. And when it does, you will be ready. The desperate hunter starves. The patient predator feasts. Chapter 8. Patience in Practice. Let us be practical. How do you develop strategic patience in a world that demands constant action? First, create space for observation. Set aside time each day to simply watch. Watch your industry, watch your competitors, watch the people around you, not to act, but to understand. Information gathered in patience is worth more than action taken in haste. Second, practice delayed response. When you receive an email that demands immediate action, wait. When someone asks for an instant decision, take time. Train yourself to resist the pull of urgency. Build the muscle of patience through daily practice. Third, develop multiple timelines. Have goals for today, for this month, for this year, for this decade. When you operate on multiple timelines simultaneously, no single moment feels urgent. You can afford to wait because you are playing many games at once. Fourth, study those who wait well. Find examples of strategic patience in history, in business, in nature. Learn from those who mastered the art of timing. Understand how they thought, how they prepared, how they knew when to move. Fifth, accept that you will miss opportunities. This is the cost of patience. Some chances will pass while you wait. Some doors will close while you observe. Accept this. The opportunities you catch through patience will more than compensate for those you miss through caution. Conclusion. The ultimate advantage. In a world of noise and haste, patience is the ultimate advantage. While others exhaust themselves in frantic activity, you conserve your strength. While others reveal their intentions through premature action, you remain unreadable. While others make mistakes born of urgency, you wait for the perfect moment. This is not easy. Every instinct, every social pressure, every voice around you will demand action. They will call your patience weakness. They will mistake your stillness for surrender. They will mock your caution as cowardice. Let them, because when the moment finally comes, when all the pieces align and the time is right, you will move with devastating precision, and they will wonder how you saw what they could not see, how you knew what they could not know, how you succeeded where they failed. The answer is simple. You waited, you watched, you let time do its work, and in the end, time always favors those patient enough to use it. The impatient may win battles, but the patient win wars. Master the wait, master the world.